Hey guys, Greg here on the Vinyl Rundown. Today's video is all about Record Store Day. I've been going to Record Store Day for years and been meaning to get around to making a video about Record Store Day, and finally Robert Z kind of forced the issue and asked his followers to consider making a video about Record Store Day, so here we are. Besides following me, you should really follow Robert Z also. Nice guy, has a nice collection of records. He seems to like funny hats for some reason, and he also insisted that we make these videos wearing green. This is the best green shirt I could come up with. This is actually a shirt given to me by guys who are in a band called Slug. They were a band like in the 90s, very hardcore industrial noise, but friends of mine. Used to go see them a lot, and they work with me. Anyway, Record Store Day. I've been going for years, and we're going to give you some tips on how to get ready and have a successful Record Store Day experience. So, preparing for Record Store Day. Obviously, the first thing you got to do is look at the giant list that they publish. This one is like 400 releases long, alphabetical order. I wish they would do a better job letting you sort it and click on it and all that stuff, but you download this giant PDF, go through it line by line, look for the groups that you like, and then I end up doing a lot of Googling to check out, what is this record about? Is it a new release? Is it a reissue? Is it a special Record Store Day only release? Is it limited quantities? A lot of these are limited to a couple thousand quantities, supposedly. And so there's a scarcity thing here that pushes the prices up. So stores run out of these, and stores can't even stock that many. So number one, download the list. Don't think you're going to show up to Record Store Day standing in line and try to get through the list on your phone. It's nearly impossible. Like I say, 300, 400, 500 records long. It's impossible to do on your phone. So print it out, go over it with a marker or a highlighter, and make some choices of things that you want. You really got to prioritize. These are the things I have to have. These are the things that would be nice to have, because you're not going to get everything you want. The way Record Store works is, at least the way it works at the stores I've gone to, is when the store opens at, let's say, 10 o'clock, there's already a giant line of people down the block. And they let you in only a few people at a time, maybe 10 people at a time, until the store is kind of full. And everybody rushes up to the counter, and you go through the list and you ask the guy behind the counter, do you have the David Bowie? No. Do you have the Frank Zappa? No. Do you have the Pixies? No. Do you have the Bob Mould? Yes. And it's this rush to get the good stuff. The good stuff goes really quickly, and then there's a lot of obscure stuff that never sells and is still in their, in the store shelves 4 or 5 years later. So the other thing you got to decide is, am I willing to stand in line? If so, for how long? How early am I going to get there? You got to kind of time, am I going to really get up to crack of dawn at 5 a.m. and go stand in line for 3 or 4 hours? And, stop by Starbucks and get a giant coffee, and then you're standing in line with nothing in your system but coffee for 3 hours, and then guess what happens? Yeah, you're going to have to figure out how to take care of business while you're standing in line there. First time we went to a record store was out here in Los Angeles at a store called Freak Beat Records in Sherman Oaks. And in April, sometimes in Los Angeles, it's really hot. So this was like an 80, 85 degree day, and I'm out there with my whole family, actually, my wife and my son, who might have been, 7 or 8 years old. And we actually roasted to death out there in the hot sun, direct sunlight, no shade, no water. Kind of a miserable experience. Finally got inside, didn't really find what we wanted. Everything we wanted was already sold out. But it was a nice introduction to the store, and, you can also run around the store and buy whatever they have off the shelves. Most stores might have some special sales that day. So be mindful of standing in line for a long time, having to go to the bathroom, heat, water, food, the bare necessities. I remember standing out in this long line at this other store, and people are walking by going, what are you guys standing in line for? What is this? What's going on here? And we're like, this is a record store sale. And they're like, records? They sell records? It was funny to see the look on people's faces, like, you're standing in line for a technology that's obsolete and hasn't been sold in 30 years. Their mind was blown by that. So anyway, those are my main tips, is check out the list first, get ready to stand in line, get ready for disappointment if what you want is not there, if it's already sold out. I guess it's time to get to the records. Let's grab a couple of records that I've got over the years. What do we got on top here? Skip James. This was definitely a record store day only release on Vanguard Records. Skip James, the blues guy. Listened to it a few times. I'm actually not sure the sound quality is that great. I know old blues, especially if it was on 78, is not going to sound good, but the vinyl itself, I seem to remember, was a little bit crackly, but one of my first record store day releases, Skip James. Okay, this one still has the record store day, what do they call those things? The little stickers. This is a pretty strange record. Thurston Moore is the guitar player from Sonic Youth, and Lauren Connors is sort of, I guess, a New York avant-garde noisy guitar player. So this is 2 club gigs in New York, the Stone and Public Assembly in 2012. Very noisy, avant-garde, weird. Most of you wouldn't like this, but if you like industrial noisy stuff, this is, it's alright. What label is this on? NSPY, Northern Spy. .com, don't know what that is. Independent record label. What is next? I'm just grabbing them off the list. Alright, here's one of the best records we've ever got from Record Store Day. Wilco. If you watch my channel, you know that my wife loves Wilco. It's one of her top 2 or 3 favorites. So we got tons of stuff from Wilco, and I'm always trying to find more stuff to get her for presents. So this was actually a recent birthday present I got for her. Wilco, there's a nice picture of Mr. Jeff Tweedy live at the Troubadour, 1996. High quality HQ premium quiet pressing. Got the Record Store Day symbol. 2 LPs, 180 gram. This is live at the Troubadour. Troubadour on the famous Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. Been there a few times. Didn't see Wilco there, but we listened to this recently. Just got this recently. One of our top Record Store Day finds of all time, because the sound is great, and it's great hearing Wilco in a close-up, intimate club environment. So, excellent choice for the wife, but I enjoyed it too. What else do we have here? Another one for my wife. Uh-oh, backwards. Nope, that was right. Tom Petty, Kiss My Amps Live, Volume 2. So you see all of the amps there all stacked up. I assume that's his real amps, because, you know, rock stars, they tour with lots and lots of amps. We got a lot of Fenders and some Voxes and Petty's Rickenbacker guitar. I guess those are his real amps. So this is a collection of live sets, a couple different gigs. The Beacon Theater, New York, 2013, and the Fonda Theater, Los Angeles, 2013. And Bonnaroo. 2013. So, collection of live stuff from Tom Petty, rarities. Let's see, Willin'. I mention that song every time it pops up on one of my videos. Willin' by Lowell George, and Little Feat, one of my favorite tunes. Love hearing covers of that. And I'm Not Your Stepping Stone by the Monkees. And what else? Other tunes I'm not that familiar with. So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star by the Byrds. A lot of cool tunes, and if you're a Petty fan, my wife's other favorite, Tom Petty and Wilco. Tons of that stuff. So, good choice. One of our better choices from Record Store Day. What's next? I'm just grabbing the pile randomly, see what's there. All right. I take care of everybody but myself. My wife's got those records, and this is for my son, who's like the world's biggest Devo fan. This is actually Jerry Casale, the bass player from Devo. Not the whole band, but it's all Devo, and that's really the song name, like De-Evolution. Funk Investigation, George Casale. It's like 4 or 5 different versions of this same song, It's All Devo. It's not a great song. It's not one of our favorite Devo records, if you ask me. But definitely a Record Store Day only release. Cool picture, though. A baby with a bomb strapped to himself. And the little bomb detonator. So, exploding babies. Typical stuff you'd expect from the warped mind of Jerry Casale. All right, here's something amazing. Let me take it out of the... Okay. Bill Evans on Resonance Records. Some Other Time, The Lost Session from the Black Forest in Germany. So there's this new label in Los Angeles called Resonance Records. Is there... Yeah, there's their logo. Resonance Records. This guy's Zev Feldman. I assume he's Israeli with that name. I don't know. He's put together this archival re-release jazz label, and he goes and he somehow digs up these lost recordings that haven't been released that were made 30, 40, 50 years ago. And this is actually one of the best ones he's done. Bill Evans limited edition, 1,078 out of 4,000. So this, I wouldn't call this a Record Store Day release. It wasn't made for Record Store. It just, he timed the release to coincide with Record Store Day, which is great marketing on his part. Also available on CD. Probably sold a lot more CDs than LPs. Let's see. I didn't know that there's a thing inside here. What's just the inner sleeve, or is this a booklet? Yeah, pretty nice. Nice graphics and artwork and all that stuff. Photography. So Bill Evans did this famous record live at Montreux. I guess this is the 60s, 68 maybe? And a few days later, he happened to be near this other studio, and I think it's the studio that MPS did a lot of recording at. So for whatever reason, they stopped in there and did a extended session. I mean, this is 4 sides, chock full of songs, 5, 6 songs per side. All your typical Bill Evans standards. So this is kind of, they were advertising the fact that this is the only, or the first studio recording with Eddie Gomez and Jack DeJohnette, the great, one of my favorite drummers of all time. Probably top 3 jazz drummers, Jack DeJohnette, Eddie Gomez on bass. This is very, typical Evans of the period. But good sounding recording. You could argue it's better sound quality than the Verve stuff he was doing at the time. There's the Black Forest in Germany. So when this came out at Record Store Day, I think I was getting on a plane, and I texted my friend. I couldn't go that day. I texted my friend. I was flying to Boston. I said, if you see this, let me know how much it is. And he texted me back at the airport. It's like $69. I'm like, okay, that's too much for me. But later I found it at a record store for $50. So look on eBay or Discogs. You probably see this for 100 or 150. So great deal. I don't like to spend $50 on a record, but Bill Evans. There's a follow-up to this that's more recent. More Bill Evans. This year at Record Store Day, he's doing a big thing with Eric Dolphy, I think. I don't know how he finds these amazing old unreleased archival tapes, but great stuff. All right, here's another one. Famous label. You probably never heard of this guy. Unless you're a blues fan, then you know Charley Patton. Charley Patton. So these are all tunes recorded in 1929 on 78. And are you familiar with this label? Let's see if I can give you a clue. Third Man Records. Do you know who that is? Charley Patton, blues guy from the 20s. But if you see the record label, maybe that will clue you in a little bit. Do you see the giant Tesla coil thing there? That is the trademark of Third Man Records. That is the record label by vinyl enthusiast Jack White of the White Stripes. So Third Man, if you go to their website, you'll see they're into this whole nostalgia trip, if you will. So he's really tripping out on the whole nostalgic, old-timey technology that was classic in the 40s, 50s, 60s, which I'm into also. Anyway, what else can I tell you about Record Store Day? So I was just looking at some of the stuff on the list, and since my son is a big Devo fan, I started searching around to see what's out there. I went to eBay. Here's something you can do just to test the marketplace. Go to eBay, type in RSD for Record Store Day, and sort by price. The most expensive thing that came up there, or one of the most expensive things, was this Devo box set. 6 discs, listed for $299. The thing is, you can't sell something on eBay that's not in your hands yet. Technically you can. eBay lets you pre-sell stuff. So this record that's not even released yet, this guy's selling for $299. And this is one of the problems with Record Store Day. You probably have dealt with this before, but there's a lot of people who are basically scamming Record Store Day. They get in line early, they buy all the good stuff, you know, all the David Bowie and all the Beatles and all the whatever, Jimi Hendrix, Frank Zappa. They buy all that stuff, and then they run to eBay the same day. You can literally be standing in line, because I'm on the West Coast, stores on the East Coast open 3 hours earlier than the West Coast. You can be standing in line in LA at 10 or 11 a.m., check eBay, and you'll see things that are for sale in the store already on eBay for 3, 4, 5 times what they're selling for retail. So that is BS. You people that are opportunistically scamming everybody on Record Store Day. Hey man, it's about the music, not the money. And the record companies, some of them are being opportunistic also, and I wish it was about the music and not about the money. Everybody has to make a living, I get it. But there's some people that are tools, jerks, and D-bags out there. So here's to you, jerk-offs who are ruining Record Store Day. It's all about the music. Why don't you stay home and gamble on the stock market and Bitcoin if that's your trip? Just a word of advice. Otherwise, looking forward to Record Store Day this year, and thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Shout out again to Robert Z. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel as well, and maybe you can buy a new hat.